Hollywood glitters with fame and fortune, but behind the spotlight, tragedy often lurks. Some stars rose to fame only to meet sudden, violent ends that shocked the world. Others quietly disappeared, their deaths lost in mystery or overlooked by time. This is the chilling side of celebrity that rarely makes the headlines. These are actors and celebrities you probably didn't know were murdered. Their stories forgotten, but their legacies worth remembering. Gianni Versace, the famous Italian designer, is the founder of the Versace luxury fashion brand, a global symbol of luxury, boldness, and personality. On the morning of July 15, 1997, after going for a walk and getting the morning newspaper, Versace returned to his villa in Miami Beach. As he was walking up the steps, he was approached and attacked by a man. Although he was rushed to the emergency room, he did not survive. Versace's death shocked the international fashion world. The perpetrator was later identified as a fugitive who had been involved in several previous cases. Versace's name continues to live on in his signature fashion collections. Marvin Gaye, known as the Prince of Soul, is a timeless musical icon. With his soulful voice and profound lyrics, he helped define Motown music and inspired generations to come. From timeless hits like Ain't No Mountain High Enough to the deeply humane What's Going On album, Marvin's legacy resonates to this day. Sadly, on April 1, 1984, he was shot and killed by his father in his Los Angeles home after an argument. His father was later convicted of manslaughter and sentenced to 6 years in prison, but served less than 3 years due to health reasons. Ronnie Chassin is one of Hollywood's top PR experts, having led Oscar campaigns for more than 100 films, including Driving Miss Daisy and The Hurt Locker. As the powerful woman behind the success of many stars, Ronnie was respected for her professionalism and dedication. But in the early morning of November 16, 2010, while driving home from the premiere of Burlesque, she was shot and killed in a surprise attack in Beverly Hills. Police later identified the perpetrator as Harold Martin Smith, a homeless man with a criminal record, but he committed suicide while being chased. Bai Jing, a talented Chinese actress, is famous for films such as Legend of Wu Song and Three Kingdoms. She was once praised as the second Yang Mi, thanks to her sharp beauty and natural acting. However, her married life was tragic. On February 28, 2012, while discussing divorce proceedings with her husband, wealthy businessman Zhou Chenghai, she was stabbed to death by him in their apartment. Zhou then committed suicide. The incident shocked China and is considered a symbol of marital tragedy in the entertainment industry. Christy Schoenkad, a talented Spanish chef, once shined on the Food Network Star program. She built the brand Hollywood's Chef to the Stars, serving many film crews and celebrities. In 2015, she and her husband, director Joseph Codd, suddenly disappeared while she was pregnant. Their bodies were found buried behind the house of a neighbor, Robert Jason Owens, a contractor who had worked with them. Owens was accused of murder and destruction of the body, shocking the local community and the entertainment industry. Dimebag Darrell Abbott is a legendary guitarist in the metal music scene, co-founder of the bands Pantera and Damageplan. His talent and passion are celebrated in the rock community. But on December 8, 2004, while performing at the Alrosa Villa Club in Ohio, a fanatic suddenly rushed on stage and shot him dead just minutes after the band played. The incident left 4 people dead, including the attacker, and sparked many controversies about security at music events. Phil Hartman, a familiar face on the comedy show Saturday Night Live, is a multi-talented artist, known as the glue that holds performances together. In addition, he also participated in the sitcom series News Radio. However, Hartman's personal life was full of turmoil. On May 28, 1998, after an argument, his wife, Bryn Hartman, shot him to death while he was sleeping and then committed suicide shortly afterwards. The case shocked Hollywood and was a wake-up call about mental health in the family of artists. Lloyd Avery II is remembered for his role in Boys in the Hood, an iconic film that depicts gang violence in Los Angeles. But his life off-screen was dark. In 2001, he was arrested for the murder of two strangers and sentenced to life in prison. In 2005, while serving time at Pelican Bay Prison, a notorious maximum security prison, he was murdered by his cellmate by beating and strangling him. The incident was only discovered 2 days later. Monica Spear, Miss Venezuela 2004 and a famous TV actress, was once in the top 5 of Miss Universe. With her radiant beauty and outstanding acting ability, she is a beloved star in Latin America. On January 6, 2014, while on vacation in Venezuela, with her ex-husband and daughter, their car was blocked by an object placed on the road. When the family went to check, a group of robbers opened fire. Monica and her husband were killed, and their 5-year-old daughter was injured. The case shocked the international public and raised big questions about the crime situation in Venezuela. Susan Cabot was one of the most prominent actresses of the 1950s, with roles in westerns and horror films such as Tomahawk, The Duel at Silver Creek, and The Wasp Woman. However, her later years were marred by loneliness and mental health issues. On December 10, 1986, Susan was beaten to death with a barbell by her son, a young man with hormone-deficient dwarfism, in the bedroom of their home in Encino, California. Her son claimed that he had been frightened and panicked by his mother's attack. He was found not guilty of murder, but guilty of manslaughter, and was sentenced to 3 years of probation. Danny Locken was an actor and dancer best known for his role as Barnaby Tucker in the musical and film Hello, Dolly, 1969. He was beloved for his charming acting and outstanding dancing talent. After retiring from the spotlight, Danny continued to teach and perform on small stages. But tragedy struck on the night of August 21, 1977, when he was brutally murdered in the apartment of a man he had met at a bar. His body was found with more than 100 stab wounds. The perpetrator was arrested but claimed to have no memory of the incident. After a trial, he was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Christina Grimmie is a singer and YouTube star who made a strong impression on The Voice Season 6, finishing in 3rd place. With her powerful voice and strong personality, Coach Adam Levine promised her a contract regardless of the result. Her music career was on the rise, receiving invitations from many major record labels. However, on the evening of June 10, 2016, after a performance in Orlando, she was approached by a strange man while signing autographs for fans. When she reached out to hug him, he suddenly pulled out a gun and shot her, killing her. The perpetrator then committed suicide. Christina's death caused public grief and sparked many debates about security at music events. Dominique Dunne, a rising talent in the film industry, is best remembered by audiences for her role as Dana Freeling in the legendary horror film Poltergeist. After the film was released, everyone believed she would become a big star. But just a few weeks later, a tragedy occurred. On November 4, 1982, Dominique was strangled to death by her ex-boyfriend, John Sweeney, in front of her parents' house. She was only 22 years old. Jefferson Machado, a famous Brazilian television actor who starred in the film Reis, suddenly disappeared in early 2023, leaving fans bewildered. His family reported him to the police when they could not contact him for several days, and the case quickly became a large-scale investigation. After 5 anxious months, on May 22, 2023, Jefferson's body was discovered in a house in Campo Grande, Rio de Janeiro. He was buried 2 meters deep in a chest, encased in concrete. His death was one of the most shocking cases in Brazil that year. Marie Trintignant, a talented French actress who has starred in more than 30 films, big and small, is the daughter of film legend Jean-Louis Trintignant. In July 2003, while staying at a hotel in Lithuania to film, she had an argument with her boyfriend, rock singer Bertrand Cantat. Blinded by jealousy, Cantat beat Marie to the point of causing serious brain damage. She died on August 1st at the age of 41. Despite her brutal crime, Cantat was only sentenced to 8 years in prison and was released after 4 years. Once again, justice seemed to not come to the victim. Bobby Fuller, a young rock and roll star, once took the American music scene by storm with the song I Fought the Law, becoming a symbol of rebellious youth. But behind that halo lies an unsolved mystery. On July 18, 1966, Fuller's body was found in his car, apparently dead from gasoline fumes. However, the body had many bruises and signs of beatings, leading many to believe that he was murdered. To this day, the cause of Bobby Fuller's death remains a big question mark in American music history. Rebecca Schaeffer, a promising young actress, rose to fame with her starring role in the CBS series My Sister Sam, but her Hollywood dream ended too soon. On July 18, 1989, at the age of 21, Rebecca was shot and killed by a crazy fan, Robert John Bardo, in front of her home in Los Angeles. He had hired a private investigator to follow her and broke into a high-security residential area. Rebecca's death shocked the entertainment industry and was the impetus for the state of California to pass its first laws against celebrity stalking. Sam Cooke, an American music icon, was hailed as the king of soul for his distinctive voice in timeless songs such as A Change Is Gonna Come, Wonderful World, and You Send Me. His musical legacy has had a profound influence on generations of singers. But on December 11, 1964, a serious incident occurred at the Hacienda Inn in South Central Los Angeles. Sam was reportedly shot dead on the spot by Bertha Franklin, the hotel manager, in self-defense after a fight. However, Franklin's testimony was questioned by Sam's friends and colleagues, and to this day, many details of the case remain controversial. His death not only left a huge loss to music, but also raised many unanswered questions. Tara Correa McMullen, the young actress who gained attention for her role as Graciela Reyes, a gang member in the TV series Judging Amy, is another case where real-life tragedy mirrored her on-screen role. In 2005, Tara was only 16 years old but had moved out to live on her own in Inglewood, California. There, she began a relationship with a gang member 10 years her senior. On the evening of October 21, 2005, Tara was shot and killed by her boyfriend, Damon Watts. A budding artistic dream was crushed by gang violence that she thought only existed in movies. Finally, there is Bob Crane, the actor who made his name playing Colonel Robert Hogan on the hit sitcom Hogan's Heroes from 1965 to 1971. Before that, Crane was a radio host. Bob Crane was found beaten to death in his apartment. The murder weapon was never conclusively identified, but police suspected it was a camera tripod. A former friend of his, John Henry Carpenter, was charged with murder, but was eventually acquitted due to lack of evidence. Crane's death remains one of the most famous unsolved crimes in Hollywood. Selena Quintanilla Perez, better known simply as Selena, was an icon of Tejano music, a fusion of Mexican music and modern American style. With her natural talent and captivating performance, she quickly became one of the most beloved Mexican-American artists of the late 20th century. On March 31, 1995, Selena, then 23, met with Yolanda Saldivar, the president of her fan club and manager of her fashion boutiques at the Days Inn in Corpus Christi, Texas. The purpose was to confront Saldivar about embezzlement. The meeting quickly became tense, and in a fit of rage, Saldivar pulled out a gun and shot Selena as she tried to run away. Despite being seriously injured, Selena managed to run to the front desk to seek help. Before collapsing, she managed to name the killer. Saldivar was later arrested, sentenced to life in prison, and is currently serving his sentence. Selena's sudden death not only shocked the music industry, but also left millions of fans in mourning. William Desmond Taylor was a famous director of the silent film era who helped shape the early American film industry. Born in 1872 in Ireland, he immigrated to the United States and became one of the biggest names in Hollywood in the 1910s. However, on February 1, 1922, his body was discovered in his Los Angeles home with a bullet wound in his back. The investigation was long and complicated, with many theories involving his secretary, his chef, and even young actresses, but no one was prosecuted. Taylor's case became one of the greatest mysteries in Hollywood history, an unsolved case full of doubts and speculations to this day. Lana Clarkson, a beautiful actress and model with a charming face, known for classic films such as Barbarian Queen, was a beloved star in the 80s. However, her career took a tragic turn on February 3, 2003, when Clarkson was found dead in the mansion of legendary music producer Phil Spector. She was shot in the mouth under suspicious circumstances. Phil Spector was charged with second-degree murder, and it took 6 years for the trial to end, resulting in a 19-year prison sentence. Spector died in prison in 2021. Lana's story is a testament to the fragility of the light and darkness in the entertainment world. Merlin Santana, a young Dominican-American actor, began his acting career in the 1990s and quickly became famous for his roles in The Cosby Show, Getting By, Under One Roof, and especially his role as Romeo Santana on the sitcom The Steve Harvey Show. However, on November 9, 2002, when he was only 26 years old, Santana was murdered while sitting in a car with his best friend, actor Brandon Adams, in the Crenshaw area of Los Angeles. The shooter was a 19-year-old man named Damian Andre Gates, who ambushed them based on a false rumor. Gates was arrested and sentenced to life in prison. Santana's death left a huge void in the hearts of his fans and colleagues. Jay Sebring, a renowned hairstylist who founded Sebring International, was a pioneer in revolutionizing the men's hair industry in America. With clients including stars like Steve McQueen and Frank Sinatra, Sebring was a symbol of success and style at the time. But on the night of August 8, 1969, Sebring became a victim of the infamous Manson family massacre. Along with actress Sharon Tate, her friend Abigail Folger, writer Wojtek Frykowski, and young Stephen Parent, Sebring was brutally murdered at his mansion on Cielo Drive in Los Angeles. The case shocked America, marking a dark, haunting period in popular culture and criminal history. Machiavelli is one of the most influential rappers of all time, with over 75 million records sold worldwide. He is not only a musician but also a poet, activist, and cultural icon. On the night of September 7, 1996, Tupac was in Las Vegas to attend a Mike Tyson boxing match. After the match, at approximately 11:15 p.m., while sitting in a car at an intersection with his manager, Suge Knight, a white Cadillac suddenly pulled up next to him and opened fire. Tupac was shot 4 times and quickly taken to a hospital. Despite intensive treatment, he never regained consciousness. 6 days later, Tupac died at the University Medical Center of Southern Nevada at the age of 25. The assassination remains unsolved, leaving an unfinished legend and unanswered questions in the hearts of fans around the world. On the afternoon of September 13, 1996, Tupac Shakur passed away in the intensive care unit after nearly a week of battling serious injuries. His passing shocked the entire music world. There are many theories surrounding this mysterious death, including rumors involving big names in the entertainment industry at that time. But to this day, the incident has not been officially resolved. Christopher George LaTorre Wallace, better known by his stage name the Notorious B.I.G. or Biggie Smalls, is one of the most influential rappers of all time. With his authentic, personal style, he left a deep impression on fans around the world. On the evening of March 8, 1997, Biggie attended a Soul Train Awards after-party at the Peterson Automotive Museum in Los Angeles. After leaving the event for security reasons, his motorcade drove through the city. At 12:30 a.m., an unknown car pulled up next to his car and Biggie was shot. Although he was rushed to the hospital, doctors were unable to save him. He died at the age of 24. Like Tupac, Biggie's death left many unanswered questions. Dorothy Stratten. From ice cream parlor to Hollywood spotlight. Dorothy Ruth Hoog Stratten was born in Vancouver, Canada in 1960. A shy, stunningly beautiful teenager, she was working at a Dairy Queen when she was discovered by Paul Snider, a local hustler who would later become her husband and, tragically, her killer. Snider encouraged her to pose for Playboy, and by 1979, Dorothy was crowned Playmate of the Month and later Playmate of the Year. Her popularity skyrocketed, and Hollywood began to take notice. Behind the glamorous rise to fame was a toxic, dangerous relationship. Paul Snider, who saw Dorothy as his golden ticket, became increasingly possessive and unstable. As Dorothy's star rose, their marriage crumbled. She began an affair with director Peter Bogdanovich, further straining her already fragile relationship with Snyder. In August 1980, Dorothy went to Snyder's home to finalize their separation. Hours later, both were found dead. Snyder had raped, shot, and mutilated Dorothy before turning the shotgun on himself. John Lennon, co-founder of the legendary band The Beatles, was one of the most influential musicians of the 20th century. In addition to music, he was also a symbol of the peace and freedom movement. On the evening of December 8, 1980, after a recording session at the studio, Lennon and his wife Yoko Ono returned to their apartment in the Dakota Building in New York. There, a man who had asked for his autograph in the afternoon suddenly attacked Lennon. Lennon was immediately taken to the emergency room by the police, but did not survive. His passing shocked the world, closing a glorious chapter in music history. Adrienne Shelly was a talented and versatile artist, actress, screenwriter, and director. She made her mark with roles in the unbelievable Truth and Trust, and in especially the film Waitress, a work she wrote, co-directed, and starred in, which was later adapted into a famous Broadway musical. On November 1, 2006, Adrienne unfortunately passed away in a serious incident that occurred in her own apartment in New York. The perpetrator was later arrested and sentenced to life in prison. Adrienne's sudden passing left a great sadness in the independent artist community. Johnny Wachter is an American actor who made his mark on audiences through his role as Brando Corbin in the popular television series General Hospital. In addition, he is also known for his role as Johnny in the survival fantasy series Siberia, aired on NBC. Not stopping there, Johnny also appeared in television and film works such as Army Wives, USS Indianapolis, Men of Courage, and the disaster film Supercell. At the age of 37, Johnny was still at the peak of his career, with many opportunities ahead. However, it all ended abruptly and tragically. On a fateful evening in downtown Los Angeles, Johnny was attacked when a group of people tried to steal the catalytic converter from his car, a device with high value on the black market. The robbery quickly turned violent, and Johnny was unfortunately shot and killed at the scene. After an investigation, Los Angeles police arrested 2 suspects who were members of a local gang and charged them with murder. Another heartbreaking story comes from talented actress and dancer Stephanie Mosley. She was born on February 14, 1984 in Vancouver, Canada, and is loved in Hollywood for her captivating beauty and professional demeanor. She has danced for top artists and appeared in blockbuster films such as The Twilight Saga, Breaking Dawn, Part 1, 2011, Idlewild, 2006, and Mirror Mirror, 2012. Stephanie is not only an artist but also an inspirational icon for many young people pursuing performing arts. However, behind the bright spotlight, her personal life has encountered many difficulties. On December 8, 2014, Hollywood was shocked to learn that Stephanie was murdered in her own apartment by her husband Earl Hayes, a rapper who was also famous in the entertainment industry. The cause was said to be related to emotional conflicts when Hayes suspected his wife of cheating. Unable to control his emotions, Hayes shot Mosley, killing her on the spot, and committed suicide. Police later discovered her body in the bathroom and Hayes in the bedroom, ending a shocking incident in the American entertainment industry. When it comes to Hollywood tragedies, it is impossible not to mention Sharon Tate, the beauty and talent icon of the 60s. With a radiant face and attractive charisma, Sharon quickly became a sought-after model and actress, appearing on major magazine covers and taking on prominent roles. She was praised not only for her beauty, but also for her acting potential that was highly appreciated by critics. On August 8, 1969, Sharon Union, who was 8 months pregnant at the time, went to dinner with close friends such as Jay Sebring, Wojciech Frykowski, and Abigail Folger at the El Coyote Cafe. They returned home at around 10:30 p.m., but just a few hours later, the peaceful villa on Cielo Drive turned into the scene of a horrific crime. A group of members of a cult led by Charles Manson broke into the house and brutally murdered everyone present. Sharon and her unborn child did not survive. This tragedy shocked the world and shook Hollywood for a long time. José Duane Ricardo Onfroy, known by his stage name XX Tentacion, or affectionately called X, was a young artist who created a strong wave in the hip-hop music industry. Possessing an emotional voice and unique musical style, he attracted millions of fans worldwide despite his young age. However, that promising career path ended in a tragic situation on June 18, 2018. While leaving the Riva Motorsports shop in Florida, his car was blocked by a black SUV. Two armed men approached, got into a scuffle, and then stole a bag containing $50,000 before opening fire. X was pronounced dead at the scene, much to the shock of his fans. The incident sparked protests against street violence and prompted the music industry to consider the safety of young artists. Roger Troutman, founder of the band Zapp, is credited with laying the foundations for modern funk. With his classic hits and signature talkbox style, he became a musical icon, leaving his mark on generations of artists. Roger's music has also appeared in famous films such as Iron Man 2, 2010, Pixels, 2015, and Venom, 2018. But on a gloomy morning on April 25, 1999, he was found collapsed outside his recording studio in Dayton, Ohio, with multiple gunshot wounds. Despite emergency treatment, Roger did not survive the surgery. Police quickly tracked down his younger brother, Larry Troutman, who had committed suicide in a nearby car. According to the investigation, Larry was believed to have opened fire on his brother during a financial dispute, ending the heartbreaking. Eddie Hassel, born July 16, 1990 in Corsicana, Texas, is a talented young actor who has appeared in famous works such as The Kids Are All Right, 2010, Surface, 2005, and Jobs, 2013, where he played the young Chris Espinosa. On the morning of November 1, 2020, as he was leaving his girlfriend's house in Grand Prairie, Texas, Eddie was attacked in a carjacking. The incident took place at around 1:50 a.m. and was determined by the police to be a random robbery. Eddie was shot and died at the age of 30. In just a few days, an 18-year-old man was arrested and charged with murder. Eddie's death made many people feel sorry for the cruel fate of a young talent who had just blossomed. Karen Kupcinet, an actress who appeared in classic films such as Little Shop of Horrors, 1960, The Gertrude Berg Show, 1961, and G.E. True, 1962, and the daughter of veteran Chicago journalist Irv Kupcinet, was brutally murdered. On November 28, 1963, her body was discovered in her apartment. The cause of death was strangulation. Karen was only 22 years old when she died, and the identity of her killer remains a mystery. The case attracted even more media attention because of her prestigious background, but justice for her has yet to be served. David Huffman was a powerful actor who played leading and supporting roles in many notable films and television shows in the 70s and 80s. He had a burgeoning career with emotional and deep acting. However, on February 27, 1985, fate took his life in a heartbreaking incident at a park in San Diego. David was stabbed to death with a screwdriver while trying to intervene to stop a 16-year-old from stealing. His brave act cost him his life, but also left an image of a kind and upright person in the hearts of his fans. Life is a grand stage, and the stars we've remembered today gave performances that touch the world. Though they have left us, their light still shines through the music, the films, and the memories they left behind. If any of these legends touched your heart, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss more heartfelt stories like this. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.